Chasin the Racin, powered by Colchester Kawasaki. Part of the Global Moto Group, we supply new Aprilia, Moto Guzzi, Vespa, Royal Enfield, Kawasaki, Sim, Mutt and Benelli motorcycles.
3, 2, 1, and welcome back to Chasin the Racin, episode 150. And we're delighted to be joined by Lee Johnston and Paul Jordan. How are we doing, lads?
Not bad, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. You look a bit bewildered.
150 episodes.
150, and you were the first person to christen this studio. And ever since
we were talking about that earlier, weren't we?
It was in the 40s, somewhere in the 40s. I can't remember exactly which one. But it's called The Christening, if anyone wants to go back and watch it. And you were also on at Snetterton. Yeah, sort of. That would probably be like 50s or 60s or something, ages ago anyway. But I put a thing on the other day asking for who people would like on, and back by, you had a few people asking for you, so back by popular demand.
That was actually me messaging off like other people's phones.
But how are you both doing anyway? You had a good off season and getting all ready for the year?
I'll be polite. You go on. So basically, Paul's had a little operation and he's been walking around dying to tell everybody about it today. So we may as well just get it out. Get your arm out so everyone can see.
Oh, you want me to hold it up like this? Oh.
Is it all bandaged up like?
Oh, do you want to see it?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing to see. It's just a bandage. It just looks like I've just pulled a lock of hairs out.
Is it like a Keith Lemon special type of thing?
That's exactly what it looks like.
Honestly, your hand looks like part of the Elephant Man act. It's massive. The swelling in that. Come back, Jesus wept. Wreck-It Ralph, yeah.
Yeah.
So you just had the arm pump surgery?
Yeah, I had it done there yesterday morning. So
You've had a similar operation, haven't you?
he actually talked me into it.
Yeah, but mine fucking wasn't even... Are you allowed to swear on this?
Of course you can.
Yeah. Mine wasn't even required because my arm pump operation come off the back of my blood thing. So I never had any arm pump like my whole career racing, really. And then like last year I started to get bad arm... Well, just before I got diagnosed, I started to get real bad arm pump. But I figured out it was because of my back and stuff and I wasn't using my legs. And then I went and got the operation. Then I got diagnosed. And when I got diagnosed, the physio guy says, oh yeah, that'll be why you got this. So I didn't even actually need the bloody operation. Jeez. But it's done now.
Were you diagnosed before you came up? You couldn't have. When did you get diagnosed again? And tell our listeners what you've been diagnosed with.
So back at the start of last season, literally in January. Yeah. So
you haven't been on the show, hasn't?
No, not since then. But yeah, so then after that, like it's in the middle of at the start of the year, I started getting it really bad. So in between two rounds, I just jumped. It's only it's in Manchester. So I left my house at 11 o'clock and I was back home for 2:30 or 3.
Is that Dr. Funk?
No. Mike
Hayton. Mike Hayton.
That's it now.
So if anybody wants to go, share a few quid my direction. I'll get you the details.
Is that the arm clinic in Manchester?
Well, it's like just Inspire or whatever. But yeah, he specialises in... He's an arm surgeon as such from your, I don't know where that starts, your shoulder or your elbow or whatever.
Yeah, Jesus.
But I went there, I got that done and then realised after that I didn't actually even need to do it. So,
I presume most people that watch or listen to this will be aware of your YouTube channel, but you've got like a real cool vlog on YouTube, a little plug for you.
I'm a bit of a big deal really.
It's doing well, isn't it? And obviously like for people that have been following that, they'll kind of know all about your diagnosis and stuff. Yeah. But I can't exactly remember like what it was all about.
Yeah, so it was basically just like inflammation of the spine is what it's not really. Some of the journalists class it as a blood disease, but it's not really classed as that. It's inflammation of your spine and your SI joint and stuff, but which obviously is created by your blood. But I said that and I thought that's what it was, and I had some people on telling me it's not, but I was just going by what I was informed. So it's just a weird or rare type of inflammation, so you just basically can't do anything. Like I was like pretty much bedbound at that time until I started getting my injections and stuff, and now I'm absolutely brand new.
Class. How many are you still having injections now?
For the rest of your life. So it's like a gene blocking drug as such. So right. You'll never not take. It's just like a, what do you call it when people are diabetic? So like a insulin jab.
Yeah.
So same thing.
I thought that was a needle then.
Just an insulin jab. So it's just the only thing, I have to keep it in the fridge. I don't know if you have to do that when you're diabetic. So I've never travelled anywhere. So it can't be out of the fridge for like 4 or 5 hours. So I presume you just buy a little,
cool bag or
travel pack. There must be some sort of a medical thing for yeah, put that in the description, and then people can tell me what I need to buy.
Yeah. I suppose not if you're going for like a long haul flight or something.
Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't been away since being diagnosed. So I don't know. Like normally I'd go to New Zealand and stuff, so I'd need to bring my drugs with me. But yeah, don't know.
I'm sure there will be some sort of
way. If you say you skipped 2 injections,
mate, I missed one at because I've been really good recently. I take them on a Friday. And I missed Friday before I went to the test. And like Saturday, I was like, I feel a bit funny. Sunday, it's like, I'm a bit sore. And then it clicked on Sunday that I forgot it. And then after doing a bit of riding, when I got back on Monday, I was like, I was like proper not doing much on Monday. I had to take a steady one. And then obviously I took it Sunday night as soon as I got back. And it'll take a day or two to work again. But yeah, if I don't get it, it's like...
So in order for us to beat him at the TD, we need to raid his fridge. They are simple as that.
It's all right. I'm ready on it.
It's now personally. just raid the fridge empty.
Fill an injection full of water just in the big round.
And obviously, since the last podcast, you've been really busy in British Supersport. I think back then, I can't remember if you'd won a race yet. I think it was after the last podcast. I can't really remember.
No, I definitely hadn't won because didn't win any the year before, and then I managed to fluke a few last year because of weather and people not being on fast bikes and all sorts of stuff. So but
to summarise the last couple of since we've last done the podcast,
you see, I was trying to take credit for this since you've been on our show. You started winning.
Sorry, I totally missed that.
just reel it in
go to Chrissy Rice riding school.
Jordan, to summarise, you've had a good few years and some class races, wins, podiums, you're doing really well.
The bit that makes me laugh is because there's a load of kids in Supersport now that don't know that I'd been there before. They're like 18, 19, 20, and they think I've just come back from road racing, and I tried the line with you. I was like, this short circuit stuff's great fun, isn't it? No, like letting on I'd never been there before. But I think it must fuck them off. Do you know what I mean? Because if some 30-odd-year-old bloke come back and thought, I'm going to have a go at this, and sneaks a few wins, and you're there like proper trying to carve a career out, I'd be embarrassed, me. Like...
Every Supersport race, I've been listening to this guy. What a belt!
Yeah, but you would do you know what I mean? And even I don't know. Like obviously, like Jack is a level above everybody else and deserves to be on a superbike. I feel a little bit bad for him that he had a go and it didn't work out or whatever, and he fully deserves to be on one now.
Yeah,
and I wish he was, because then it would be a bit easier in Supersport. Yeah. But that's just the way it works out, doesn't it? And I would never. I'm really grateful to be able to come back, because like the first time round I was on bikes and then I didn't have enough money to be on the right bike or whatever, and it was just a waste. I know that it's a waste of time. If you're not on the right bike, on the right team, you might as well not bother. And Jack obviously understands that because he's on a good Supersport bike, and why would you get off that to get on a bad Superbike? Do you know what I mean? It's like what's the point? So he knows that, and I would love to see him on one. This is turning into me trying to sell Jack Kennedy to the
You're doing a good job of it, so keep going.
But he does deserve it, and I think the rest of us are all pretty close, do you know what I mean? But he's genuinely, like, first session he'll be 0.6 quicker than anyone, literally 3 laps in, do you know what I mean? The pace is there all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so, in all fairness, like, I don't think he was on the best bike last year, but that handicapped him to make the racing a lot more exciting.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, I think he did an amazing job.
Oh yeah,
but it's gonna be interesting this next year, because obviously he's back on a Yamaha in a top team, but also the likes of like Brad Perry's coming on strong, and it's like I definitely don't think it's going to be plain sailing for Jack now. I think the level possibly can rise, but you racing the class. Do you think he's going to pace it this year?
I think it's going. I understood what his bike was like last year. Do you know what I mean? And I know my bike. If Jack was on my bike, he'd win. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't bother me saying that. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not 18 or 19, and I'm not trying to prove to the world that I'm going to be this good. So I think
the youngest man I've ever met.
I'm 33-year-old. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like I remember being 18 and seeing someone at 33 and thinking, "Fuck me, he's nearly dead." Do you know what I mean? That's what I know that. That's why I'm not under any illusion. Uh-huh. So, but I think he is going to be very hard. I think I've took a step each year. Like the first year I come back, I was like genuinely top 5. I could sneak a podium. Last year I was really upset if I wasn't on the podium, and then I snuck some wins. So if I could, I don't know if I will or not, but if I could take the same 5% jump as I have the last two, then we might be somewhere there. But
do you know, in terms of the whole paddock, I would say you've got a very unique kind of I don't know the right word, but like you're very unique in the sense that you massively play yourself down, and you're like I think it's a really good quality, and it comes across like it's very modest.
Yeah, but there's nothing worse than under-delivering, isn't there? You're better off.
No, but you know, like I've heard you say like on numerous times about you feel like you've with the little talent you've got, you've like massively overachieved. That's like what you've said, but like nearly like nobody else really says that, so it's like it's unique, and I think people like really like it. If you were
honest, do you know what I mean? If you could be. Like, if you could genuinely look yourself, if some people, you see young lads now and you think, oh, I'm going to go to World Superbikes, but you're not really, are you? Do you know what I mean? If someone like Taran wins the British Championship and can't get on a decent World Superbike, how's some boy in 10th that's dreaming about going to World Superbikes? Do you know what I mean?
It's just most people kind of like, they maybe haven't quite achieved, but they're like, oh, if only I had like a better, or if only if things where you're like very much on the flip and you think like, I've like snuck this.
Oh, I've rinsed every bit out of it. That's just being in the right place. I know for a fact there is better riders than me since I started racing that have quit racing. Do you know what I mean? Because maybe didn't get a ride and things don't. That's just the way of life is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I would agree. Like I remember being kids, like there was people that were a lot better than me.
Yeah.
And they kind of fall off, and it's that thing of like if you can just make the grid every year, you are always improving, and it's like there is something to be said about that sort of just consistency and yeah. Anyway, a lot about you so far. What you been up to over the last like sort of year?
It's all been pretty quiet, really. We've just been doing bits and bobs here and there. You know, it's not really been consistent for what I have been doing in the past. So it's been hard to sort of try and keep the momentum going from when it was in 2019. So,
have you been doing any racing back home or?
Only bits and bobs. So we've done Armoy, Cookstown, really, Bishop's Court in the last 2 years. That's really all the riding I've really done. So it's sort of this year's just trying to get myself back up to speed again and get the momentum going that I had before and pick up where I left off.
Because you were busy, mind. You were one of the busiest road races going. So you won Burrows for the Nationals.
Yeah.
And then you won RAF Reserves for the Internationals. And then anything else between that? You had your own R6 doing that with your brother. And then
I had the Minstrel classic bike as well.
On the 750s as well. Jesus,
so like on paper it was going to be non-stop. And then obviously COVID hit and wrecked everything for me. So that's just one of them. Sort of took a step back now to try and go forward again and just reboost.
And in terms of like teams and stuff for this year, what's your
Nike?
What's your stable for this year?
Riding John Preston's and Sandra Perez racing team from Isle of Man, riding their R6, got a Yamaha R1, and then they've just built me a Super Twin as well. So I'm going to be quite busy with all their stuff. So
did you used to ride for them?
Done one round last year with them at Cookstown, which was sort of like a stepping stone in to see how things were going to go, and then it's all materialised in something else.
And stable of bikes wise, is it the new R1 or not last? It'll be last year. Wait, anyway, Cove BC bike.
I think it's still the same bike that Jamie rode.
Right.
In 19.
Jesus.
They did offer to buy me a new one, but realistically, I don't think at the level I'm now, a big bike, I wouldn't benefit off it. Where they says we'll go and put more money into like something like the Super Twin, get me a spare engine for it, whereas I might have a bit of a chance to getting a half decent result on it. So I've said to go that road. So obviously with the 600 and the Twin, I think that's my two strongest classes.
I tell you what, we're gonna have to bring up the Super Twin crack because you're the Aprilia front. Are you on a Kawasaki?
I am.
That's interesting, right? We'll talk about that later on down that rabbit hole. But I'll tell you what, that question's totally gone from us on that side of things. But BSB, are you doing that this year? Is that the plan?
We're doing Snellerton No Limits next weekend, and then the first round at Silverstone this following weekend, doing it in Supersport, and then next weekend we're doing it in R1, and hopefully the Twin, I'm going to try and squeeze it in as well.
Did you see the Silverstone No Limits? Not Silverstone, was it Silverstone the first round? Did you see the entry list for that? Billy McConnell won it, and then they had like the Hawk Racing lads. Who else was there? Practically the BSB grid up to that.
Plenty of people getting practice in, right? And in terms of the Yamahas, they haven't been particularly like sort of common choice for the TT. But going into this year, you've obviously got yourself and then the OMG lads, the two OMG lads.
Jamie's on one as well, Jamie Card.
Right, okay, I didn't know that. So yeah, there's going to, in the top 20, what's that, 5?
Yeah.
And to be fair,
Jesus,
I'm surprised nobody is, because they're that rider friendly. They're unbelievable.
The thing is, they dominated everything last year in terms of like Motor World Superbikes, America, and pretty much everything, didn't they?
But the mad thing is, leading up to that though, that like I think we mentioned this on the pod prior, like Jamie Coward's a 130 point. He's a 130 plus man. He's the first man to do it on the Yamaha, Jamie. But prior to that, you had Dan Dean, William Dunlop.
That's actually not true.
Go on then.
Dean did it on the March in R1 about 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on, in practice or in race?
Jamie is now.
I don't think the bike made the race.
Jamie is now officially the fastest Yamaha.
Well, in practice,
He did a 130, right?
See, I'm just full of facts, mate. I have no idea what my own time is, but I remember him doing that on that bike.
130.9.
Is that what mine is?
That's your fastest big bike lap.
You trying to tell me it's 132 there, though, eh?
That's like 5 years ago, is it?
Would have been high.
Yeah.
And
but you've won TT since then, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
the new the start numbers have just recently been released as well. Were you all happy with like where you were placed? And
did you have a choice?
Am I allowed to answer this honestly?
Yeah, go on.
I just tell him where to put everyone.
I wouldn't.
Basically,
put it this way.
I got people ringing me up the other week about like me and Paul Phillips are mates, but cycling mates. Do you know what I mean? We never even talk about motorbikes.
What's the distinction in there?
No, we're both really into cycling. Do you know what I mean? Genuinely.
Yeah.
So, but there was like some hoo-ha about Super Twins and stuff recently or whatever. So random people are ringing me up going, oh, can you have a word and say, I don't even have any authority in my own fucking house. It sure as hell don't have any authority at the TT. I was like, but what must go on in someone's head to think, you know what, I'll ring Lee Johnston. He'll sort this problem out. I'm thinking, what spectrum? What do you think's happening? Do you know what I mean?
I'll know not to ring you.
But but they do. They ring you up and go like, and I presume he does this with the top 10 or 11. Do you know what I mean?
He should do.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. And he says, and I'm not honestly bothered because it's the same bloody distance from the start line to the finish line. Mm. Unless you've got some kamikaze pilot in front of you or behind you, which there isn't really any of. So do you know what I mean? What's the fuss really? And I know some of the lads don't like being beside someone else. Do you know what I mean? And I can see why. But
is that so because they don't want either for them to catch them or
normally that's the case.
Like get held up.
I was stuck behind Hickman the last time and he was in the way all the time. Do you know what I mean? I honestly would have had a good 5 wins only for him being there and distracting me. But I'm not going to sit here and slag him off on the podcast. Do you know what I mean? No, but there is people that think that. And there is, for the other thing is, if there was a slightly younger rider, maybe 1 in front or 2 in front, they know they're going to pass them, and then they're going to get a free tow round for 2 laps or 3 laps in a big bike race that they would never normally get. And if you're thinking 2 years ahead, well, all of a sudden, why have I held Tim for? Do you know what I mean? There's that. So yeah.
Do you, does it make quite a big difference if someone, when you say a free tow, like if you're doing your job and like doing the things and someone comes past you, is it like quite easy? Is it quite? Do you gain quite a lot of time by jumping on the back of someone?
You've all got.
It's about momentum, isn't it?
Like to be fair, I was thinking my second year at the TTI, Sweeney caught me, passed me, and I sat in behind him. I was like, obviously he's caught me in the road, so I said if I could sit here.
Yeah.
But see, when I was actually sitting in behind him, it felt easy, and you felt like you did have that bit of pace to go past him. But obviously you don't want to pass him because he's passed you, he's caught you in the road. So.
And did that, in terms of your speed, did you make a jump?
Yeah, I went up a couple of miles an hour. Right. But you wouldn't have known, as I say, if you attack the track, you come in and you say, oh, that was a fast lap, and it's like, no, actually, it was shit. And then the lap that you do that you think you're just out for somebody cruise is the fastest one. Like, I mean,
he said that when he won it. You've said that. You said everyone.
Yeah, I don't like somebody in front of. I obviously I do in Super Sport and BSB because I love getting a toe off Jack. Do you know what I mean? It's the easiest way to qualify. But on the roads, I prefer to be on my own. I think. Even like I'm not actually when I did catch Hickman in that race, like just. I was morally amazed, but I didn't get right on him. Do you know what I mean? I was 2-3 seconds off him. Mm-hmm. That was fine. But then when we passed somebody else, I don't know if it was Davey Todd or I can't remember. But when I'm in that bit, I'm like, I don't like that feeling of, because there's so many places where it's like a crest or a blind. It's not like a short circuit. Do you know what I mean? Because it's so repetitive. Mm-hmm. But on the roads, like any little thing, and there could be someone else in front of him that you can't see, and you can't just trail a brake into like a bumpy corner. Does that make sense? Where somewhere that you normally wheelie through, and all of a sudden you catch someone and you're trailing brake or whatever, well, you're going to fall off by doing something that you couldn't see. So
it must be quite difficult to pass someone clean with it, because obviously you don't want to get that too close because you block the vision, so you're kind of hanging back, but then to time it so that you can catch and pull out and pass, because otherwise I can imagine, especially through, I've never raced obviously, but like through the blind stuff, if you were like right up someone's chuff and you couldn't see like the road ahead, must be like a bit sketchy.
And even the slipstream as well. So if you think you're doing 150 or 60 mile an hour most of the time, so like say Ginger Hall to Ramsey or someone, it's really bumpy and there's a bit of wind buffering.
And like the road's never straight anyways, you're always, aren't you, like just following the road down, following down the middle.
Have you lads been over since the changes?
I was over there 3 weeks ago.
How much has changed then?
It's going the other way around this year.
No, happy days.
Obviously, I haven't been over the mountain because it was closed because they were doing the work over it. But like the run from Ginger Hall to Ramsey is like, you thought it was bumpy before. It's a motocross track now, really.
They've made it worse.
That'll suit us big lads.
That part hasn't been touched yet since I was there. Like that bit after Ginger Hall, you go up over the top of the crest down into that left-hander. Oh, I was in a pickup and I was sitting.
He's trying to psych you out. Look at he's fucking got you on here. Look at they've resurfaced the whole lot. It's like
I've been riding motocross all year with sugar tits. I'm on it, man. I'm on it. Don't you worry.
There's bits where they've removed a lot of the trees. Like before the Conquer trees, just back a bit from it. There's that left-hander, I don't know what it's called.
Because like Whitegates have levelled that off. Paul Phillips put a photo of that the other day, and that looks like a bowling green now.
I have no idea what that is.
Neither do I.
Ramsey, Parliament Square. You go up the right, and you know when you get to the brow of the hill, and then you go to the left. All that. So when
that is one of my favourite corners on the track.
It burns. It's outstanding. You get a full like decompression on the when you exit the turn. But then if you do it right, you're in the industrial estate, the housing estate. If you get it right, you're like, it's fucking mint.
I was just thinking about that before, about the numbers, that people are probably chuffed in the top 20 that you choose to run 13 because like the superstition thing.
And nobody else wants it,
nobody else would want. I presume nobody. I know Croy wouldn't want it. He's 14.
Yeah.
And I asked him, and he said, like, if I got offered 30,
I'll get some slipstream off him when he comes with Aswoda.
Jesus.
Are you expecting Croy to pass you?
I might just sit on his tail pod. I don't know. To be honest, I have no. Honestly, I'm not involved in wanting to win a super sport race or a super twin race, that I'm not forgetting about the big bikes. Obviously I want to still go, and I might get on it. That new bike I haven't done a lot on. I literally went to Macau first time on it and finished 4th because I thought, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
And I literally rode it the first time the other day and it's sat in my workshop for 2 years. It's been there since 19.
An M or an S?
Whatever the 19 one is.
An S.
Yeah. So not the smoky one, the one that doesn't burn oil. Not like that one you have now. It's another one. It's good because when you don't get any free stuff, you can just slag everybody off and it doesn't matter. we pay for everything. He's sitting there going, oh, no, it's good beer. That's what no comment.
I wasn't on that one, but I was behind Taylor a lot, and Taylor's like every single, I couldn't believe how much oil was coming off.
There was actually one out in Spain. Some young kid, I can't remember. Is that a plane going over?
Plane over,
that's some young kid, and I couldn't believe the amount of. I was like I couldn't obviously pass him because he was faster than me, but I wanted to tell him. But then I realised that it's just completely. Normal. But because I hadn't been in Superstock and you didn't realise, but it must be so off-putting.
Yeah. Riding
behind it, and at least you're doing it this year now. You'll be blowing it out on everyone else, won't you?
Well, mine doesn't do it.
Mine doesn't do it. Ever so good, might be.
Have you had to go with the split throttles yet?
Yeah. So basically, we ran. Yeah, I like the feeling of it because it's quite friendly. The other thing, we haven't done enough on it yet to warrant like the engine braking and the wheelie control and everything. Like I said, we literally got the bike and did one track day and then went to Macau on it, and I think we must have fell on a decent set. And some of the I wanted to put a German accent on there, but some of the Germans come with us to Macau, like the engineer guys, so they obviously had a bit of data and stuff to put in the bike. But I like it because it feels a lot smaller than the older bike. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. If you had a big bike but put a small tank on it, it automatically feels like a little bike. Do you know what I mean? It's because of what's in between your legs and your reach and your handlebars and stuff. So it naturally feels that size, you know, even with my TT tank on it and stuff, because it's all under the seat on the stalker. So we just have a stalker. We don't actually have a super bike or anything. We're just going to run a super stock bike for everything.
And then same bike as you use for British Championship in Super Sport. So like that's like,
yes, it's not the actual bike, but we have another one for the roads. But it's just the exact same bike. It's just the case of, if you did have a slide off it, you don't want to be going to the TT on a loom that's maybe crashed or, you know, anything like that there. It's just not worth the hassle of the bike getting damaged. Imagine breaking down because a wire's being nicked or something.
Yeah. Are you concerned about the new rules with like the Triumph and stuff, or do you think your bike's still going to be probably the best bike?
I honestly think that the older Triumph is faster. Because I still have my older Triumph, and I know what horsepower it is, and it's got more horsepower than my R6. I just didn't like the feeling of the bike, especially at the TT. So like, I still have the lap record at the Ulster Grand Prix. I know, but that really fast race for me and Pete, we still didn't even break my lap record from 2 years before.
How close were you off that?
Mile an hour, I think, which is
wow.
Yeah, which
that's
is
a lot.
bit, yeah. But so I know how fast Pete's Triumph was, obviously, because I was sat looking at the back of it for a long enough time. And I've raced with the Triumphs obviously last year in British Supersport, and I know the level. So all of a sudden, if we get to the TT or the Northwest, and that Triumph or whoever's on a Triumph is stronger than my R6, well then it's not the same Triumph as what was in British Championship.
Right, yeah, because it's all controlled on the roads and stuff.
And for what do you call him? Scott Smart. He done an unbelievable job at like smacking that in. And it was really good because I'm like quite friendly with Kyle Smith, and like we talked about it and everything, you know, on the bike, and even in sessions we were beside each other just to see, do you know what I mean? And
was it pretty level?
Yeah, the bikes were unbelievably level for literally throwing the thing straight into the class. So
impressive. And I don't think anyone's running the Ducati, although I don't know if that's
Sam West.
Is that eligible at the TT?
Well, that's what he's running. I seen it. In the,
he's going for that, is he?
In the entry list.
What is it? In 988 or 989 or something like that?
I don't know.
Something like that. And they're about 500.
Is this planned to rob Paul Bird's tent or something like that?
I think they're about 150 brake horsepower standard. But then
same as. But they sort of ruined the sport now, because I spend a lot of money a year at raffles on engines. And why would you not just go and buy a Triumph now and detune at 10 horsepower and it runs you all year?
So do you think that's what people
like? Everyone, like especially any like a slightly lower level or club racers or whatever, why on earth would you bother trying to build an R6, tune the life out of it, run it on mileage, do you know what I mean? Risk it blowing up all the time when you can just buy a standard Triumph.
So do you think as the rules evolve, you think they're probably going to be more Triumphs and Ducatis? It's going to be a
Triumph Cup, yeah.
And Ducatis as well, because it's the same thing where the
it depends on what they're...
How competitive they are. That'll be interesting.
Because I think you have to take a lot of weight off it. You have to take like 20 kilos off the Ducati. So there's going to be a bit. Well, it depends on how easy it is, but I'd imagine there's going to be a cost factor to.
It looked really trick at the Daytona 200. Yeah. There was that one Ducati in the front.
Where did it finish?
They messed up.
That's fine, well, man.
The team messed up on the fuel. They didn't pit early enough for fuel, so he ran out of fuel and had to push it, and then lost about a minute, and then but lap times and stuff he was really competitive.
Well, to be fair, Josh Heron was on it. His level of rider, you would say, should be.
Yeah, and you're on the R6 for Supersport as well. Spot on. What are your starting numbers, by the way?
17 in the Supersport, and then 33 in the Superbike, which I don't really understand that one, but it is what it is.
Do you think you should?
Well, I thought it was just because I've seen other people that. So they say they go off like a lap time, but there's people in front of me that's never rode a big bike that haven't even a lap as fast as me in a Super Twin, but are in front of me in a Superbike.
Really?
So I don't really know how they make it
Put
up.
official complaint into the team. Are you listening, man?
Have you not had a word with Lee?
That was me that rang him.
It was me that got him 33.
But it is what it is. The only thing, I don't really care where I start at the end of the day.
It's where you finish.
It's qualifying. You can get up, but it's just practice.
Yeah, I was going to say, am I right in terms of if you qualify the fastest out of the non-seeded riders, you'll be going 21st?
Yeah.
All right.
And then, but it's just the start of practice. Obviously you're getting away with people that you can make it held up with or whatnot. You don't get away with someone like Dom or Lee that could give you a bit of a tow along.
Right, okay. Oh, fair enough. And on the twins, and I'm kind of really looking forward to this conversation because they
haven't released the numbers yet for them, have they?
Huh?
I wasn't
released the Super Twin numbers.
You've got it, like what you're not allowed to say.
I haven't got mine.
Have you not?
No,
you have us in your entry list.
Is it being released?
Do you want to do it live on Chasin the Racin? Let's see his face. But I was going. Well,
We see him
we'll wait for
smash his
this.
phone. Don't you worry, I've sorted you right out, Tom. number 92.
Are you going to do it now?
Nah, I'm not. I don't know. No, fuck it, I will. I'm
Look at he's trying to pretend he doesn't care.
Yeah. Just before you
talk amongst yourselves.
Can I just say, just before you check, what have you got like a?
Well, I know I'll
What
be
number are you in Supersport?
Because I haven't been given a
just in
number.
front of me, 16.
In Supersport, you're 16.
Where would you like to run on the twin, or who would you like to go after?
I would like Jamie Cower to be behind this, but I reckon he'd be number 1.
Right.
I'll be amazed if Jamie's not number 1.
Why would you like Jamie behind?
Would you? Right? Can I ask you another question?
It's the toe system. It's exactly the toe system.
If you had the choice to be number 1, would you pick number 1?
100%.
Fuck that.
100%.
Were you? Is the reason you're saying not
I've
because
beaten once, right? I didn't even make the start grid. That I was at in 17. I was one. I spent a fortune on a house and spent the whole week in hospital. But mate, it freaked me. I've been off a couple of nights. Have you ever been off first in practice?
I'd love to.
No, mate. Fair play, and fair play to McGuinness, but it's not for me.
And what's the reason?
I just think
I got
right.
to go
So
once.
there could be anything could run out in front of you, right? So everything you scare away with noise, yeah.
Oh shit! You remember Oliver's Mount with the deer?
Exactly.
He was leading up the. He was leading up the hill. And
I'm not saying that it is, but at least when the animals have a bit of a fright when Big McGuinness comes past, well, they're not going to run back out again. You know what I mean? That was it. Fried my head. Mm-hmm. Whether I'm just weak mentally or whatever, but I couldn't.
That's the sort of thing that would play on my mind a lot, and for that reason, I would. It's just like mitigating risk, isn't it? And that's like,
but like having that, like
he just wants the photograph done. He doesn't care about anything.
I tell you what, I remember James Hillier. It changed his career.
Well,
it changed his career when James Hillier.
Did you get
No, not yet. I'm in the conversation, not being rude. But it's like, when James Hillier did it, he was always seeded, but then he got his chance at number 1, and then the faster lads came out, and he went from like 127s, 28s, 32s.
Yeah,
but I'm not. I don't have that in me to do that. I'm not a brave enough person to go.
What's your ideal? I know you should never go off your ideals, but I bet your ideals are like 130. What's your fastest on a super sport? I don't even know
26 or 27.
No, I'll be quicker than that.
20, I think it's 27.
I don't know.
Gotta be comfortably in the 27s.
It is.
You don't know, but in 2018 on the 5th lap, Dean Harrison did.
29.
I had a question there now. I forgot all about it. He stumped me.
Well, I was going to ask.
I don't know my ideal.
I was going to ask about check that. I'm dying to find out. Obviously running the Aprilia, and it's done really well in other countries, but we've had no big international events to race it at. So it's like there's a huge question mark.
The rules in America are a lot different to here.
Much more open for the Aprilia.
So like a brief thing on the rules here. Obviously, for starters, I have to be 10 kilos heavier than his Kawasaki.
Right.
Yeah. So all the advantage I have I'm generally probably 10 kilos lighter than most average road racers. Yeah. Yeah. So that's out the window.
Then like Phil. Away.
Yeah. Maybe 7 then Phil. That's harsh, that is. I tell you what, you said that, not me. So I think I might get away if we can get some more horsepower out of it, because a good super twin now is probably like 105 horsepower, something like that, 105 or 6 horsepower.
In that region, yeah.
Yeah. And my bike's not at that. So,
right.
And we're still trying to get it at that. But obviously then you run the risk of it blowing up. So I haven't got the time frame to be fit to do a load of riding on it and do a little bit more tuning. I'm literally...
Mm-hmm. Bit of a geeky question, but with the Kawasaki's, they come standard at like 60 odd horsepower, and then you can get over 40 horsepower extra from doing various things. But the Aprilia comes at like say 95 or 98 or whatever. Where do you start in terms of getting more power?
The thing about the Aprilia is, and it's the same as like what's the super stock Aprilia called? An RSV
V4.
Yeah, but it comes like a race bike. Do you know what I mean? Like the gearbox is coated. There's a lot of stuff done to it, and my little engine is just half of one of them. Mm-hmm. So the biggest worry is if it comes at 97 horsepower, but they have already made it pretty a level of tune, well then you're not going to get 20 horsepower out of it. You know what I mean? You're really lucky to get 5. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of the situation we're in now, is trying to find 5 horsepower.
Right, okay.
Which doesn't sound a lot, but if
That's a lot.
all them things or a lot of them things are done to the standard bike, obviously it's not going to be on the level of. Are we videoing his reaction? Oh yeah.
Fuck. Nah, I'm not saying mine until you say yours. When's this going out?
I don't know when.
Next Sunday.
That'll be out. That's out now already, is it not?
Nah, he's full of shit. Where
That's full of shit. Nah.
Dom, where are you going? I haven't got mine yet. I was just joking.
He's lying because he knew before.
Well,
Paul Phillips,
the best thing is though, I've just logged on to mine, son. So get your phone out.
I don't even know my password.
He's lying. Tell him what he is. What is it?
You're full of shite. That's what it is.
Well, what number are you?
Now I'll tell you what. Now I want to know yours.
I'm going to say you're off at.
I'm gonna say 3.
I was going to say 3.
I'm number 5.
Is that good?
That's good.
I'm over the fucking moon.
Is that the highest you've started?
So who's
Easy.
Who's what's the numbers go?
Good thing we've got Grace editing this, because if the news doesn't get out, she'll have to edit this out. Number 5.
I mean,
So
Who's ahead
You're
of you?
number 8. Shit.
Who's ahead of you?
I have no idea. You can only find out from the noise.
Well, who do you know so far? So 5 and 8.
I know who's won.
Go on then.
Oh, you said it earlier.
Jamie.
That's him away. That is him away.
So who's number 2?
I said with Michael.
You reckon?
On the pattern.
That's the Michael. They normally split the It's good. There's obviously a lot of there's a lot of thought that
That'll
goes
be a
into
massive advantage to Michael if he's gone off behind
sure.
Jamie.
Oh, massively.
That's the proper hook out. But you see, Jamie's consistent. Jamie is he's not
faster than a
phased.
boxer.
He's confident. He can just dig in and goes. Jamie doesn't need a carrot. I think
So
Jamie
if
is
I'm
Highland.
off 3, then at least if I pass them 2, you have a good chance of winning. Just to keep things modest.
So you're 3. Anyone know 4? You're 5.
I mean,
I'm assuming I'm 3 because that's what I am.
Yeah. Do you know who
600.
roughly?
Yeah, that's
who could
that's
be
a
fourth?
huge 13 to 3.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know.
Hickman?
McLean will be 3 in there somewhere.
Adam McLean will be hungry for it.
So
I tell you, he's a question mark. Where's Derek McGee?
He's not racing, is he?
Don't know.
He just hasn't appeared on anything. He's
Well, he
kind
had
of
that big pit bike crash.
Maybe he's in prison.
Jesus.
Just throwing it out there, like, you never know.
Fresh for the rumour mill.
Yeah.
Is Davey Todd doing? What's it
Well,
called?
he's not a Honda contract. He's a Padgett rider. He could ride anything he wants, couldn't he? That's theoretical.
Do you know if he's
Davey
doing
Todd's
that?
on for one this year, mind. He's going so well at British.
Oh,
He's on for one. Like, he's a 131 Summit. He's a fast lad.
Quick question for you as well. Do you know how you
Hickman will be 10.
haven't done any like laps in anger around the TT for so long? Do you, in preparation, do you do like any sort of do you run through laps in your head? Do you do anything on the Xbox? Do you do you think about it a lot, like
done
doing laps?
3 journeys over. I've 3 trips over now so far, and I've done a few laps.
Cars
in
or
the car,
bikes?
in the car, aye.
Right, and just refamiliarising yourself with everything. What about yourself?
Well, I had planned to go over, right, and Whittam's just got a new plane, so I thought, this is mint. I'm just nip over. But I went up the other day for approximately 17 and a half minutes, felt sick, and had to come back down again. So
Really?
that was the end of my flying career. And I hate the bloody ferry over there, so
You're going to tip up
Can
on
you just-
race
I'm
day.
going to watch on board. I think.
Can you just not hack the? Is it the?
Do you know what? He once he like put a bit of a purn into it and it was banked. It was fine, but see this brrr, like, oh man, no way. I get very sick looking at the ferry coming into the harbour.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
And
terrible.
Do you? Did
The
he?
Fermanagh man who's born on a bog. And it's like that. His whole life has
That's
been
what
like
it
that.
is.
Did Whit? Does he let you take control of it?
Oh, you weren't even off the bloody airfield, and he goes, "All right, lad, have a." You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, whilst trying not to be sick, you like this here, but yeah. No, it's not good for your health. But it frustrated me that much that I want to, like, I'm going to take some travel sickness tablets and have another, because I would love to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
But you can't obviously do that if you're being sick every time you go up. It sort of takes a bit of the enjoyment out of the job, doesn't it? But yeah, so I'd planned, like, we were going to go over and have a mooch about and stuff like that there. But yeah, until I can last more than the journey over without being sick, it's not looking too. But I literally started watching some on boards a week or two ago. I can't normally always get to a full lap. I get a bit bored. So I'll normally like watch to Ramsey and then I'll watch the next bit and then I'll watch in bits in between and stuff. But it's just not the same. Like, I know kids learn it and everything, you know, for learning which is left and right, but you just don't get the feeling of. I'll watch a few for that to just jog me a bit, but you can't sit on your sofa and watch somebody doing a lap record round Brands Hatch and then go and do the lap record. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it works.
In terms of your plan for this year, are you doing the full British Supersport as well as Northwest TT, Macau?
I don't know about Macau, to be fair.
Is there Macau's back on?
Yeah.
Wait, no,
I'll do whatever road races there is, but yeah, full British Championship. So I've never done that before. I've never done the both
roads
together at the same time.
As well as running your own team.
Yeah.
I don't even discuss that. How was that stress ball going for you?
I've done a lot of growing up in the last few months.
Well, again, like we know this because of your vlog and your social media. People listening might not know, but do you want to just quickly explain the fact that you've sort of taken on the reins of like actually running the team as well?
So if you want to see everything, just go and watch my YouTube channel. And I'm not saying it on.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
Go on, plug away.
No. So basically, people think that this is something, not that I didn't want to do, but Roger, who was my crew chief, ran the team, which is obviously quite rare as well, because he is a top level. He come from me from the factory Honda team. He's got the rights just to be employed as a crew chief, but I managed to talk him into doing that and running the team for the last couple of years, since 19. And then, like, at the end of last year, he literally said, here, because he lives in the Midlands and our team's based in Beverley, and he had to stay at the workshop. We had him a house and stuff. He stayed there for 3-4 nights a week. He was away from home. He had back-to-back weekends, so he was literally never at home, and he doesn't really need to be doing that much. Do you know what I mean? And he literally said, here, I want to take a step back. And he literally bought a barge 2 weeks ago, and he sealed it the whole way home. It took him the full week of getting home the week before the test, just gone at Snetterton. And so that's what he's doing. So basically, I wanted the team to all stay the same. So he was happy to still be my crew chief.
Get it down, you lad.
Get the Red Bull label off. He still wanted to be my crew chief, and I didn't want to change anything, and I couldn't bring somebody in during the week. Like, who wants to send invoices and do, like, it's basically all the shit work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we talked about it, and he says, oh, well, you have to speak to all these suppliers and everything. I thought, well, I might as well learn to do that now as anywhere. So instead of doing work on a building site or whatever, I've come back now to literally working full time in the workshop. Well, 3-4 days a week in the workshop. But I think we've actually ended up saving money because it's me now going to all these suppliers, and it's the product for me. So I'm there going, come on, and it was never up to him. Do you know what I mean? He shouldn't have. It didn't. Why should he be trying to get a better deal? Do you know what I mean? He's trying to sort a product out, the best one we want or whatever. But in my nature, I cannot help myself to try and rinse somebody, to get a better deal. So, but even the response you get when you ring up and they'll go, oh, who is it? And I go, oh, it's Lee. Do you know, I'm trying to, and they're like, oh, yeah,
off YouTube.
Yeah, off Chasin the Racin. But because what nowadays, what rider rings to order parts, do you know what I mean, of any sort, like whether it be race bolts or reactive parts, or you know what I mean, like realistically. So they're actually almost happier that you're dealing with the person that you're selling to. So it's been really busy, and not gonna lie, I did shit myself a bit thinking I would have forgot something, but literally a week before the first test, like, I brought Roger up because he needed to do some electronic stuff, and I said, right, think of everything, do you know what I mean? And I think Wi-Fi for the truck was the only thing I hadn't done, so it left me a little bit more relaxed. So
does it worry you at all that you know, like say on a race weekend, that you're gonna have too much?
No, so we sat down at the first test, and so the guys send me their invoices and everything when the weekend's over, and we've got a little clipboard in the truck, so whatever gets used they all write down. And nobody speaks to me about it on a race weekend. Roger is the team manager on a race weekend, so they don't ask me anything, do you know what I mean? Maybe he'll ask me something if it's really important in the evening time at the test or something, go, have we got this, or was this sorted? But literally when I'm there, then my job's to ride the bike, and bar maybe some extra sponsor work and stuff, but that's just part of the...
By the way, do you just want a Rich Energy?
I'll throw me one out there.
Do you want sugar-free?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
I'm trying to get a Red Bull deal at the minute. So.
Go on. Have you seen Billy Bull's just got one?
Oh yeah, it's fuming.
Yeah,
I'm fuming.
I can't remember what I was. Oh yeah, do you know when you mentioned going on was it a barge pull or something? What did you say, like a boat?
Oh, Roger's just bought a barge. Yeah.
Do you know? Gareth and Jane from the ball padding managers. Do you know they've went off and they've got a like a Rosie and Jim.
Yeah, that's what he's got. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get like all around Europe on them. And it's mad. It'd be quite a cool way to like spend your retirement, wouldn't it? Like
they spent a lot of time in Spain, didn't they? On the off season.
Yeah, if you could get a barge for yourself and then one for your missus. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? No, it's meant because my missus doesn't watch any of these, so you can say whatever you want. Yeah, but you couldn't. You would. I said that to Raj. Like, I said, could you live on it? And he's been on it a week, and he said no. There was no hesitation. You know what I mean? It's meant to go on holiday, but you've got no shed. You've got nowhere to store anything. If it's wet out, you've got a canopy on the back. So even if you had bicycles or anything, they're either in the living room or they're on top, and if you're in tunnels or whatever, it needs to be on the back. So
can you be classed as a resident on one?
Yeah, you can live on one.
What's the tax rules for like? Because you're not actually you're not on land.
Chrissy's buying one. Chrissy's buying one here.
Where are you off? To Andorra? You going down to Andorra on your barge?
Yeah, Andorra's a place to go, isn't it? Like everyone's
I don't think you can take your barge to Andorra. That's not possible.
Have you ever been to Andorra?
No.
It's kind of like the Isle of Man, where people use it as a tax saving place.
Well, it's slightly different because you just pay a set fee to get into Andorra. You don't do that in Isle of Man.
Well, with Isle of Man, you can pay the set amount, like the maximum.
It's a maximum. It's only 20%. Yeah, no matter how much. But in Andorra, you can literally pay. You pay. I can't remember if it's 50 or 80 to get in, and if you don't leave before 5 years, you get it back. You have to stay there for a period.
As a fact,
but if you leave earlier than that, they keep
I thought the Isle of Man was 150, and then that's a maximum. You can't pay any more than 150. So if you earn like 10 million or 100 million or $1 billion, it would be you'd pay £150,000 tax. Is that not right?
I'm only at 137 now.
I thought that's what
there must be some rich people that watch this. They'll know, won't they?
Yeah, possibly. Stick in the comments.
Northerners.
There's no such thing as a rich northerner.
They're all tight as anything. They're all loaded, aren't they? Anywhere above Yorkshire.
We'll probably get charged for these, won't we? Here, share this with me.
I tell you what, it is funny travelling around the UK and sort of seeing different. I always, no matter where I go, I always look at house prices, and just as like a sort of rough gauge of like where.
What do you get? You're keeping a proper secret life here,
It's so funny. You go in places like in the middle of London, and you're like literally like flats for like 3 million, and I always like look and sort of like cover it over and think like what, and then
you know it's expensive when the advertisement is based on foot and not by the size of the house. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like normally, normal houses are like a bedroom. They go bedroom size, 3 bed, 4 bed, but in London or whatever, it goes on a single flat. 80 square foot or 100 square, so that's you're buying it per the foot, not the.
But some people listening to this won't actually believe this, but like where we live, there's places you can buy a house like a house to live in, for like
what other sort of houses?
I mean, it's like a nice, like a nice house. Like it's not on like a you wouldn't not want to live there. It's like just like a normal.
What do you mean? What sort of house do you not want to live in?
You can get a house for like 40 grand.
What?
You can buy a house like where we live for like 45 grand.
Windows, doors, the lots.
Full lot. Windows, doors, bridges.
Over
40,000.
Yeah.
But when it's in like Bradford and like all over the country, like Liverpool and
there's places like, but on the other side, there's you can go places and there's millions for like things. It's such a disparity.
That's what I like about driving from Liverpool off the dock and that. You have like a millionaire row. Yeah. Then you have a slum, and then it backs up onto another million, and it's literally a postcode divide. And you think that's
do you know, like for like say £1 million, in some places in the country you get something very like sort of averagey for $1 million. Yeah. Like where we live, you would
35 houses.
Well, you could get like something like private drive with like mansion basically for $1 million.
Yeah.
It's a Northern Ireland.
I would be. I was about to say because like me and Lee went up to like Broad Beers or one of his sponsors for a little talk show, and they were talking like Lee was having the crack and talking about going home for a little bit, weren't you?
So when it's a long when me and my missus first, I think maybe even before Jessie was born or when she was pregnant.
You were 5 or 6.
I actually put a bid in a house, literally 2 miles away from my mum's house, and I remember thinking like. I started looking and like what I was looking at here for the money I was going to spend, I was like buying 3-bed house, nothing fancy. And then I was like just randomly on Rightmove like you do, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll just chuck that in at home. I was like, Fuck me, I've got a castle here for the same.
That's another thing. Do you know there's castles in Scotland?
Yeah. This lad loves a bit of right move, doesn't he?
Completely in the middle of nowhere.
Pal.
Yeah, they're completely in the middle of nowhere, but like the most beautiful buildings you've ever seen.
Yeah, but that's what I thought. Like, I love where I grew up and everything, but now, having spent so much time, like where I live now, we're in the middle. Like, we're 20 minutes to Manchester, 20 minutes to Leeds. If you could think of something that you want to do and it's not within an hour of here, well then it's not legal. Do you know what I mean? You're not allowed to do it. But then, like, even if my cousin come over to visit or I go home sometime and I'm like, oh, we'll just nip for a Nando's, and they're like, there's not one here. Well, we'll just do this. That's an hour and a half away.
Aye.
It's like there is literally nothing. And I'm not slating it because I loved it as a kid. But if I'd never been away, it would have been fine. But to go back after being away, I think maybe when I'm old, I could go. Do you know what I mean? When you don't want to be doing them sort of things. But no, it'd irritate you thinking that you couldn't do it, even though I probably don't want to do it when I'm here of no interest, but not being fit to do it, all of a sudden you go, oh shit, I want to do this. And even the amount of traveling and stuff, like I do like race schools with him and all that, and he literally picks me up at my door and we go and do it. Like, if I was, imagine having the flyover for BSBs, it's just not, I just couldn't be bothered.
It's mad how many like Irish lads, Northern Irish as well, like are racing in British, I think, but not living here. And that extra expense.
That's the bit,
especially now.
When I done British, that's what killed me. Like,
well, that would be even worse riding for a an Isle of Man team.
I know.
That must be even worse.
It's a good job they got a massive budget.
To afford him, it must be massive, you know what I mean?
And then Lee is my manager, it's even worse.
Jesus.
I made a fortune, lads. I made a fortune.
That's it. Roofing's where the money's at. They are simple as that. Simple as that. So you're looking forward to British then?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to just getting time in the bike. That's all I'm looking forward to.
He's lying. He said he was going to be on the podium the first round.
That's all right.
He said he didn't want to mention it on here to get the hype up, but between us four, you know what I mean?
No one else.
And no one else.
Lock it up. There you go. No one else.
No, I am looking forward to it, to be fair. I'm just looking forward to enjoying riding my bike again. I just want to get enjoyment back.
So is it literally just the Silverstone round, or you're doing the lead up?
I think we're doing Oulton as well.
Right.
So, and then obviously Saturday, I think we're trying to get a test in between Silverstone and Oulton on the twin again, trying to get more time in it as well, because it's just a new bike. Well, it's not new, but it's been built back to new.
Aye. Bloody hell. In the deep end. Don't forget your armbands, young'un. Jesus.
What? Oh yeah, you did a few. You enjoyed it though, didn't you?
I loved it. Got my arse kicked. I loved it. First time I did British, I got lapped by Jack Kennedy, and then the next time round I didn't get lapped and I got points, so I'm up.
There you go.
But it's $2,500 a weekend. That's but you know what it's like. You know what it's like.
Once you go to like the likes of Northwest and you've had that much time on the bike, it shows. Like time on the bike. You can't,
but do you think if someone said to you, for $2,500, you can win a TT, it wouldn't sound a lot, would it?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
And like, even, I think, I know it's not, you say $2,500 like it's easy. I understand what it's like to earn $2,500. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. But when you put it into the context of, if you did 2 meetings and that made you 2 mile an hour faster at the TT 2 years sooner, well then maybe the extra start money or whatever, you would be better off. Do you know what I mean?
I totally agree with that, but that gamble element, but it's the one element, because every time I did British, I've only done it 3 times, but it's actually that conservative thing before the TT going, we've got one bike, I roll this, it's gone from $2,500 weekend to a $20,000 bill. Before that, I completely understand that, but then you're weighing that against weighing want, aren't you? So you've got to be willing to crash the bike to gain those 2 mile an hour.
Right, you look at, you're going to do Cookstown. How much will it take you to go do Cookstown and do 5 laps? Whereas if you spend the money you spend to go to Cookstown and spend it on going to Oulton Parkers or Silverstone, how much more track time do you get? What do you benefit out of going to Cookstown? You'd get more advantage going to a BSB than you would go to a road race.
I totally agree. On that side of things.
But
you're going to kill Irish road racing in one sentence here.
That's the thing, and that's why I want to keep going, because sadly, like I haven't done all the Irish meets. I want to go down south. I want to do all of them. It's the clash of the timetables, but that is a very interesting subject, because it is struggling. It is struggling road racing.
Even like when you go yourself to BSB, obviously I know I'm not going to go there and be competitive, but you're going around there with lads that are going to be pushing you to your max. So, you know, it's going to keep bringing you, progressing you, whereas realistically, you're going to go to the Cookstown, you're going to be thereabouts. To get that jump ahead for the likes of the Northwest and TT, it's a bigger margin, I think.
I understand what you're saying, though, because I get asked all the time to go home and race at like the Cookstown or the Southern 100 and stuff like that there. But like, I honestly think I would be shite at it, because see all the I've been to watch, and the little jumps and like the dirt on the road, all that stuff just fries my head. I'm like, I can't like switch off to, like, even at the Northwest on a first day of practice when the road's really dirty and stuff, I could be tense. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not brave enough to go, and you'd only have 5 laps. So if you didn't qualify, you're at the back with a load of lunatics. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like a snowball effect.
I totally agree, but it's like acclimatization for myself. Like Cookstown, like you say, turn 1, you're flat, like it's almost Northwest kind of thing, isn't it? You're grouped in, it's a bumpy exit, you're going in, and it's all. That's the thing about the Irish stuff as well. It is stop, turn, fire.
Yeah.
And that's very Northwest for me. If I wasn't doing the Northwest, I wouldn't entertain Cookstown.
Yeah.
For that element, you know, for the money savior. But for me, going into Cookstown, it's that.
Well, say if this BSB happens in Northern Ireland next year before the Northwest.
Is that fresh? Is this fresh news?
Court, there's talk about Bishop's Court, yeah.
Which is brilliant.
So if that happened the week before the Northwest, then all the road guys could go do Bishop's Court.
Straight on to the Northwest.
That'd
be class.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Jesus.
And all the guys like Chrissy could stay and just have a good time for a week and work really hard for Dom.
No, but would that be something?
I do. Yeah, obviously, well, I'll be doing the British Championship anyway. But I love racing at home. Do you know what I mean? Because there's loads of people that I don't get to see, you know, all year round. Because I live in England, I race in England. There's literally the Northwest now. The Ulsters shut up shop. It's literally the Northwest. The only time I get to race.
Yeah.
At home.
So when's it? How's that Bishop's Court thing looking?
It's supposed to be next year, but I don't know for definite.
Fantastic, that mind, because that is a hell of a track. I've only been around, well, half a session. Lost half a finger.
I was going to ask, I know you do loads of extra things as well, and like on YouTube and whatever, and there was the Cotton versions at one point, but we're speaking
this time next year, Rodney.
We're speaking just before.
I'm moving next door.
About are you doing something in collaboration with Bennett's to do with like a bike build?
Oh yeah, so so basically they come to me quite a while ago, and I've had a few people ask to like sponsor the channel, but like I look at you guys and I look at Taylor and stuff, and you're just like, do a proper job, whereas I literally fuck about it on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? It's literally for a laugh.
And he's more successful than both of us.
No, I'll take my camera, and like it's literally like there's no fancy editing or nothing. So I think I would feel a little bit.
Don't do Christy.
No. Yeah,
service. I think she does a brilliant job.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Groveling twat.
Yeah. She does. Yeah. She does a mint job, but it's not like this cinema. You know what I mean? It's not meant to be anything. It's not.
People like that raw thing, don't they? Like,
it's a good job because we'd be screwed otherwise. But in that sense, and I didn't ever want. I started it as a joke and as a bit of a crack. So the last thing I was going to do was halfway through a video go, please buy Bennett's insurance because I said so. Do you know what I mean? That's not me. So I just said, here, I don't want the advert. Thanks for the offer. But I says, if you can think of something, then we'll
incorporate.
We'll do something else. So then they come back and said, oh, we're doing these giveaway bikes, like a restoration bike. Would you be interested in restoring one, doing some vlogs on it, and then we'll give your viewers and everyone at Bennett's a chance to win this bike at the end of the show. So it's perfect now. It's not like me standing there going, buy this insurance. The guy's literally, see, I don't even know how. It's like you register, like you put a quote in.
Yeah.
That's the one. See, I've researched that. You put a quote in or whatever at the end of the videos. Get a quote off them. That puts you on their link, and that's straight in for a chance. So that's literally, you don't have to pay. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything.
And you haven't started restoring this bike yet?
Yeah, I have started, but the vlogs haven't started yet. They're actually the first one's going to be this Sunday, so it'll be like a week or two before this is out. So yeah, watch it because it'll be on.
Catch up.
So yeah, I'm gonna do that. But like I've literally started and went, fuck me, I've got no idea what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? So luckily Whittam lives quite close. We went and bought a GSX-R 750, which is something that I thought was cool because when I was young, that was like a superbike time, you know, like 96, 97. So we bought that, and then we're going to build it back into a completely standard road bike. So I've been quite lucky with Steve Wheatman's helped me a bit, and Classic Suzuki themselves, and sourcing me some parts and stuff. So I've got like quite a few new parts and stuff for the bike. So I'm a bit Ian enemy in that sense, like I want things right, but now the fact that everybody's going to fucking see it, so I'm a bit more stressed out by it. But yeah, I've been enjoying it, and like it's nearly ready to start building back up and stuff now. So there's going to be like, I don't know, 4 or 5 vlogs.
I'll look forward.
all on doing this. So yeah, just I worry because there's people on that'll watch it, and they clearly know I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm doing, but I don't ever want them to. I'm not trying to pretend to know. Do you know what I mean? So I'll go, oh, I wonder how you do this. I wish it was a live video and they could answer me sometimes because I genuinely don't know what I'm doing. So I'll be on the phone with him all the time, and luckily he's like super interested in anything like that. So. Yeah, but yeah, that's as if I wasn't busy enough. That's
Are you still doing the Whitman track days as well?
Yeah.
And what about the cancer charity? Are you still involved with that?
No, it's completely all with Marie Curie now. Yeah, like I handed it over a few years ago. It just got to the point where it was too busy and too much, so they took the rights for it, and they still use it for certain events and stuff. So yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Really good.
A friend of mine actually just messaged us on the way in to ask for unfortunately he's just lost his dad.
Yeah.
And he wants that logo as a tattoo. So remind us to get it off you before we leave, and I'll pass it on to him. Because I said I would ask you for that.
Oh, fair play.
Because you still do the knee sliders and stuff like that.
They all sold out, yeah. So that was actually RST did a run. They only did like a run of something like 500, and then it went straight away. And then they went, so they ended up having to do loads more, because I think a lot of people, like I ended up people coming up with them still in the box and signing them and stuff. So but then I seen loads on it. I was more happy to see them getting used almost, you know, than sitting in a box in somebody's drawer or whatever. But yeah, it's a nice thing that RST did for.
Because I was about to say, you're back. You've gone from I can never pronounce that leather manufacturer. Fergan, that's it. So you
let him struggle for another way.
So you've gone from there. We're all RST lads, aren't we? And you two are a couple of bell ends these days, aren't you? So
good. Tell you what, mate, when you're this good looking, you have to worry about your head. Can't you? They could have a bucket on their head, and it wouldn't matter, would it?
So
but better again. So I've changed boots, right? And do you know what kind of boots I've got now?
Gurns.
Right. So yeah, how do you say that word?
Gurns.
Gurneys. Garney.
Well, I've got them for trials boots, but I've never tried to pronounce them.
Garney?
See, I don't think that's right. I think because they're obviously an Italian word, it can't be Gurn. That sounds...
No, you're right. And then HMY Customs do the paint job on them, is that right?
Yeah.
Hammy does it there.
They changed basically I told them what way I wanted the boot. And they said, there's an issue with Flow Pink on this hard plastic. So I sent them a picture then, and they went, "Wow, that looks amazing. Can you tell us how he's done it?" And then, like, I've tested them now to see if it will stay on or whatever. So then they're going to send them with it done afterwards. I think Reddings are the same colour as mine.
Right.
Because when I was chatting to him when we were out in Spain, and I seen he had just plain ones on and then 2 or 3 weeks later, he's fucking copied me, hasn't he?
Has he?
He's not even that big of a deal, is he? And he's it's only his feet are like double the size of mine.
Hammy messaged Dom and sent some boots down for him. And he said, asked him for a design. Tell him what he said.
It was like, what do you like? I said, trees, the colour green and boobs. So I'm hopefully going to get some Raj design.
Yeah.
I've just totally left it with him, and I tell you what though, he's definitely worth a look on his Instagram.
Yeah,
Give him a it's you normally think you're gonna get. At first, you introduced me to him and said, he wants to do design your boot thing, and all right. Never really took it, but he does like perfect replicas of any designer. Yeah. It's outstanding stuff.
I've seen some really. The bicycle shoes he does. They're trickly.
Well, give him a look. HMY Customs. There you go. That's another plug. Anything else we need a plug? Yeah, there you go.
I was in terms of going back to the TT crack. In terms of like predictions for the different races,
George's going to pass Lee, and then Lee's going to pass me.
Recently, we've been asking everyone for like sort of top 3 predictions. I've tipped you for the Super Sport race.
Thanks, mate. I'll split prize money with you.
Thank you.
If you get a fiver out of it,
I'll take a fiver.
We'll take a photograph of it.
In terms of the big bike race, the Super Sport and the twins, do you have any like sort of thoughts on that?
Do you know who I think's going to win the big bike race at the TT?
Go on.
The first Superbike race, Connor Cummins.
Do you?
Yeah.
God, I want that. Who doesn't want that?
Because he's been on a Honda for the last couple of years. It's not that fast. And now he's on a Honda that's very fast.
And he's been competitive as well, hasn't he?
His mate, if you follow, I don't know if either you two have ever followed him. He is the most precise person I have ever followed around the TT. When he commits to a corner, there is no body change, line change. It is in like double and triple apex corners that are in out and you're making adjustment. Not him. He is so tidy, and I think because he's been there for the last 2 years, and he was really quick anyway. He's finished 3rd in the last 2 Superbike races.
So you get some good odds on that.
Do you think he'd give me some of his prize money?
Nah, not a penny.
I'd like to see Hillier.
Oh God,
do you think that's realistic?
Why not? You know, at the end of the day, he's thereabouts all the time. It's just...
Yeah, he's a good... Yeah, as a friend, I would like to see him win. But yeah, it'll be a big... I think it's a big ask because it's a new bike and that team's got no road experience.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem.
And he hasn't been doing a lot of short circuit stuff as well. Yeah.
Like, how do you look past Pete and Dean? Like,
you can't.
You know, you really can't.
What about Michael on
I was about to say,
the Ducati? Do you think?
I once went to the TT on a Ducati.
You hated it, didn't you?
We got to Ballaugh Bridge.
Shook a brains out of you.
Oh, blew up. Cancelled practice one night and everyone booed at me. I felt terrible.
Really?
Knowing what you know now, like, do you reckon you could adjust that now or anything like that? Make a Ducati work?
No. Oh, maybe that's a lot different. That's what
I mean.
If that team can't make it work, no one will. But does that team want to go to the TT? Well, who in that team are road enthusiasts?
Paul Bird.
Does Paul Bird work on the motorbike?
Touche. But he's the one footing the bill to the mechanics to do it.
Who out of the mechanics?
Brian, really? Did he not do the Northwest one year?
Oh yeah, but he's not going to look after Michael, is he?
Don't know, but he's part of the team.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
I know you said the team.
Yeah, but is it going to be Michael's own team? Will he want his own people there? There's going to be a clash of. That's a really good team, and they're really good bikes. But if you went in there open-minded and said, "Right, lads, you know what you're doing. I just want to ride the bike," but he's not going to do that.
Right. So do you think that's going to be a tall order for him to chance for the win?
The next question, what bike will he have parked up somewhere in case it doesn't work?
I was about to say, it'd be interesting to see what he does for a stock.
I don't think he'll do that again. It's that. I think the bike will be good, but like they must do 2 engines a weekend at BSB. Do you know what I mean? Not on mileage, but for safety reasons and 1 mileage to be up or whatever. So how many engines do you reckon they'll do at the TT? 5?
Gotta be. Like you say, when you're talking about mileage compared to short circuits, what do you think you do? It's Stockhausen, for example, mileage wise. In a race, let's say a race.
I don't know.
If you've only got 3 sessions a weekend, on average you'll do 8 or 10 laps a session at Oulton. You've got one 15, 16 lap race. So what is the track? 2 mile around?
Here we go. This is quick maths, Chrissy. Come on, go for it, son. Come on, son.
No, so say you've done 35 laps. No, you've done 45 laps a weekend. That's 2.5 mile a lap. So you're not even at 100.
That is over 100, but yeah.
100 mile?
Yeah, that's 125, I think. Yeah.
Well, there.
37 mile long lap, and there you go.
5, yeah. So, just over 100, not much, yeah.
I was adding it up in fivers, see that straight away. But you see, that's what I mean. Like so, and same goes for them BMs blowing out smoke. So when Taylor and them, I'm not having a go, but when Taylor and them were like putting oil in a super stock weekend, that's 2 laps round.
Yeah, I know.
So what are they going to do? Put oil in the pit stop when they're fueling?
That'll be
will be interesting.
That's the thing.
But nothing wrong with the speed of it anyway.
God, it'd be interesting to see them silver speed trap times, mine. That Ducati.
What about,
my God.
So we've talked. Do you sort of back yourself for the Super Sport race, or do you?
Yeah.
Oh, he'd have to, wouldn't he?
Why not?
Depends what side of the bed to get out.
Yeah,
It could be clean useless, or else I'll be half decent.
Twins?
I have no idea. I would like to go, because I've never, any other time I've rode the twin, I've never really done anything on it. Do you know what I mean? I literally, because I was worried about super sport and before that super stock and everything, and like when I went on Ryan's, I bet I did 2 laps of practice.
Right.
2 or 3 maybe, and then I never rode it. I didn't usually ride it at the Northwest because I didn't want to. So you were up again like Jamie or so, and Michael's the same, to be fair, but that pattern's, it was good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he back on the pattern?
I would say will be.
Michael Dunlop, yeah.
Think so.
I have no idea. But like you say, he's always been Patton's number 1.
Yeah.
Hasn't he, kind of?
But I would like to see now when I'm actually going to put some effort in the bike. We don't know. Do you know what I mean? But honestly, from getting on it, I like the bike. I don't know about speed and stuff. I think if we were racing everybody on a short circuit, I would say we'd have a good do on it.
You've been out spitting on that. Yeah, I think I haven't actually watched that video yet, but I have.
Why not?
I have seen it pop up a few times. Just been busy saving it.
You must have been what?
Saving it for a special occasion.
Christmas.
Yeah. But yeah, happy with it though.
Yeah. Just I've only done 2 days in Spain, like I said, but literally I've got on it and thought, this is some bikes you just get on, don't you? And you think this is nice straight away. So.
It's one of my jobs is work. I do the social media for Colchester, Kawasaki and all the things. So like we sell them and I'm like pushing them all the time.
Yeah. I'm literally putting there's not even going to have an Aprilia badge on it.
Really?
Yeah, because we bought the bikes and I asked them, like, do you want to have any involvement? And they said no. So I'm just going, if I see one Aprilia picture of me at the TT on that bike with them, I'm suing them. Is that possible?
That's like,
you'll find a way, mate.
Yeah.
Go for it.
That's massive for their brand, like in terms
but they don't want anything to do with it. Absolutely nothing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because then they're doing race packages and everything, like purpose-built race.
Not to do with the TT though.
Is anyone else racing one at the TT?
Yeah, Brian McCormick.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Of course he is. He's on the global robotics one, isn't he?
Right,
So the Hickman connection.
Hickman is as well.
I was about to say, because what's happened
Well,
with
I
this
don't know
Norton?
if he is definitely, but I don't think he's riding the Norton.
So it's either Aprilia or Norton.
That's a good thing. It's good and bad. It's because like it would be nice to have Norton out there, but it's not.
He was one of the guys protesting against. Pete, if you're watching this, Dom was one of the people that protested your Norton.
Oh, no.
I wanted you to ride at me, but he slagged it off and got you kicked out because him and Paul Phillips are big mates.
Yeah, it is just it's a bit of an awkward one, that one, isn't it? Like it's just
I'd like to have seen the Norton out there if there was 10 of them.
It's not awkward now if he's already been kicked out. It's the end of the story.
Yeah. But it's one of them, isn't it?
The reason
saying that he could pedal, he could win on a unicycle. Hickman, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter what you put him on, so it's going to be a fair fight.
It would be good to see more brands. Like that's the reason why we got them. We could have just went and got somebody's ER6. Do you know what I mean? But
why isn't Farquhar there? There's that many different things being said and stuff.
He's got no one to run, has he? If I would have rid his bike and McGee had a rid his bike, well, who's he running? Name another decent. Well, I'm not saying it, but name another average to decent rider that doesn't have a super twin. So
yeah, but in the same breath, if Ryan Farquhar picked up the foot, there'd be a lot of people. I know it's like first come first serve, but you'd still, there's a lot of doers out there that could get on a bike like a Farquhar bike and go like fuck on it. But there's that many different things.
Do you know?
Is Adam McLean there on his twin?
He'll be riding his twin
for the McAdoo twin. Yeah.
I was going to say, do you know, in terms of the TT for yourself, what would you say is like a successful TT for you? Do you have any like particular aspirations, or are you just going to want to do your best?
Just try and improve from the last time I was there. That's the aim, and especially like in the twin race. And like somebody took something off me that told me they would give me, but for my birthday.
What's that?
Didn't you finish on the podium?
He did. He was meant to give it to me.
You were fourth. You were fourth and you just missed out on the podium.
I was waving at the crowd. I was waving at everyone, and he still was riding.
This conversation, sitting in the caravan. I said, mate, like literally, if I'm in fourth, just
do you hear like when
just let me go, just for me, just this once.
If you watch that Drive to Survive when Toto goes move over, mate, I was in the gutter, like I couldn't. I was like, and he was still riding round. You know what I mean? I nearly got put out of the race for
I was driving. You're just coming up by the turn road there, you're looking and you're going, fucker.
So is that your best?
Did you know?
You've had a P4 at TT. Right,
when did you know? Was it like a third, fourth, or like a set? Like what were you reading when you would go around?
I only got one board, and that was Ginger Hall. I came around the first lap, and I felt like I could have a bit of a do at it. So I was like, went like, well, I thought I was going like stink. Came through Ginger Hall. Some boy put my pit board out. It was like 8. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I was like, these boys are going like stink.
Aye.
So I was right. So I just said to myself, right, chill out a minute. So Jamie caught me and passed me. I sort of
So
hung
we
on.
got a free toe.
It didn't even. He just fucked off. Like,
Jamie, we listen to this going, yes.
I just told myself, right, just relax. Just, do what you can do. And then I was coming out of the bungalow. My brother was there and he put P4 out and I was like 1.4 off. I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to do something here. Then to find out it was him after it, like,
I stopped to talk to his brother and everything. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I said, come on, Gary, tell him to.
But even that, I was happy with my lap times and stuff on the twin, so it was.
Yeah, you lap faster than me, to be fair.
Did I? That's what I mean.
Because you won, and then you won the Ulster after that.
Yeah,
that same year. Yeah. So that was a bloody hell. Northwest did you get?
Oh, that's right. Oh, these big blue.
I did actually pull out of that race. I was waving at him.
I remember that on the footage. You're literally holding the bike up and going, hurry up, like waving at him. That was mint crack.
Yeah.
But are you still on Dunlops? You're a Dunlop man for the roads.
Nope.
You're going to Metz. What are you? Metzler.
Yeah.
Back on Metzler. So there you go. Well, that's a bit of home comfort for you, though.
Aye, so yeah. They're black and round, aren't they?
Brown black.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be selling the Metzler to your son. Come on, big it up there. There we are.
It is very like sort of binary between them two, but there seems to be quite a few people going over to Metzler's for next year. I don't know if anything's been officially announced, but like from what I've heard, McGuinness, I think.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
That's a team deal though. But is there anyone else that a rider that's picked a tire?
Hutchie?
No, that's they run out. They always run Metzler.
And then I think there's
the Milwaukee lot.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they have.
Are they going to Dunlop?
Well, when Michael rode for them, he's always been a Dunlop man.
Yeah.
And then you've got.
Funny you say that.
Yeah, but the last time Hutchie was there, when he took the front and blamed the team, what was he on then?
He was on Dunlops.
Yeah. So what's he on now? Metzler's.
But you say that there. Whenever Michael was running Dunlops and Superbike and Supersport, Super 20 always runs Metzler's.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes for you to decide, are you just like Dunlop through and through, or do you back to back them, or you're just sort of happy with what?
Just whoever pays in the most money.
You might as well say it out loud on Chasin the Racin. It's all about the brass,
No,
isn't it?
I've always run Dunlops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a loyal sort of a person.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not hear him coming in here squeaking?
Yeah, that's right. It's fair enough.
What are you laughing at?
So we've got going into, by the time this podcast goes out, it'll already be in the past, but we've got 2 days at Silverstone next week for the BSB test and then straight into the round one. So if it's getting busy from next week and then
round one's not that weekend though, is it?
No, the following week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got like
stress me out there.
Yeah. But just before we finish off, do you know, from taking the reins of kind of running the team and things, what's like been the biggest surprise in terms of like the thing you didn't think was at that time consuming a big deal, but when you've actually done it yourself, you think, bloody hell, that's like a massive. Or expense wise, like, is anything you've been shocked at with like you can't
paying his own wages?
Honestly, the most frustrating part is people not saying when they go get like, I make up these little scenarios in my head. I go, right, we're going to send this part off. This is going to happen. They'll do that. I'll ring them up and they'll go, yeah. And then for that to happen, then there's something else follows on. So you go, yeah. Get to that Thursday. They said that was going to happen. They go, oh, it's not happening. Next Tuesday. And you're like, well, you fuck 2 things after that. And then the worst thing is at the start, I wasn't writing that down. I've got like a colour chart. So yellow's ordered, green's delivered. So if I've ordered it and I'm waiting on it, I'll write the date of when it should be or a date when to ring again. And then it'll go green or whatever on my laptop. And that was and after I realised that Roger was quite short with people on the phone, and I used to think, fuck me, he's a bit rude, isn't he, or whatever.
You started to realise what.
And now I'm like today I've just been at Raffles and I've been absolutely asking Ian about 300 questions, wetting bits from him. He's like, will you calm down? I was like, mate, we've got like 5 weeks, why is this not happening? But I've realised that they outsource bits to someone and they might even outsource it to someone else, so it's just like, that's the most frustrating part. Mm-hmm. But on the side of time consuming, I've probably never filled an entry form in before, so doing that was a bit of a pain in the backside. Nothing else really, just general stuff. But most people have been really, really good with me. Like even that like the TT entry and stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's like I did sort the votes and stuff before for the team, but now, like sorting the boats and houses, and some of the lads might fly over, some of them are going to just having all that. I have a big fear of turning up to the TT and they're going, oh, sorry, the truck's not booked on. Do you know what I mean? Something like that there. But like, I probably looked at that booking 4 times. I know.
Phil Kelly.
On.
It's still on, isn't it? So, cheers, mate.
So stuff like that. And I'm like probably the most lackadaisy person in the world when it comes to myself. But for some reason now, when it's, I never wanted like, I sort of like proving people wrong because everybody knows I'm lackadaisy now. I'm like, I want to be fit to do this. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just the same as being competitive. I want to do a good job, sort of thing. So that's what I'm most worried about, is not doing a good.
Like, is this wanting to be a long-term job kind of thing?
I don't know, because I don't know how I could tolerate another run in a rider. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would love to help someone and give them the benefit of the doubt, but it's like, in my eyes, I would love to run some kid that's skint. Do you know what I mean? But it's hard nowadays, because unless you get the budget, you know what I mean? Because there's loads of kids that are shit hot that haven't had a chance. And I was lucky enough to sort of scrape the last one to scrape through by getting a free ride and stuff to literally make a name for myself. If I was 5 years later, I would never have been fit to be a motorbike racer. Do you know what I mean? So I would love to do that. Do you know what I mean? Where I could run some kid that is generally can't afford to race.
Yeah. But has the skill and the will.
The skill. And like what it used to be like, if you were good enough, you got a ride, you went pro, that was the way it was. Whereas nowadays, there's too many kids walking around with 100G going, I'll buy that. And I would struggle to deal with someone like that, I think, rather than somebody that wants to. There's the flip side of, like, we can bring the budget in now because I've got a little bit of a name, we're winning the you know what I mean? It's feasible to do, but all of a sudden, if you go to sponsors and say, I've plucked this kid off a council estate, we'll give him a chance, do you know what I mean? He's going to be good, but will people pay for that? But
like, from an outside looking in, you'd think that would be almost borderline more.
I like
a bit more of an attractive offer, shall I say? The fact of like, you know what, I'll give that a punt. You know what I mean? Rather than going, he's got a load of brass. Thing is, with people with money, you do label them as brass.
It's different when you're saying to someone, we need 300 grand. No one says, we'll have a punt at 300 grand. Do you know what I mean? If you say to someone, give us a 2 grand, they go, he's a good kid, give him a punt. That's the difference, I suppose. And then there's the value of, if you sign someone like Jack, say, in Supersport, he doesn't crash. So you might pay Jack a wage, but he might save you 40 grand in crash damage.
Yeah.
So this is what I've never understood with teams paying an average to good rider 50 grand when a top rider's 100 grand that doesn't crash. You do 2 superbikes, well, you've got 60 grand worth of damage, plus you've got the guy winning. So I've never really understood why. And I know it's easier because he might not crash and you might not have to pay it, but he's gonna, do you know what I mean? 10 seasons out of 11, he's gonna crash. So
no, I get it. And do you know before when you said about you being manager, was that a joke or do you actually?
No, it is.
I do everything bar get paid for doing it. Yeah,
like an unpaid manager.
Yeah, it's like more of a crash situation.
Is it more like paying like? What's it called? Arrears, like back pay. So like when you start,
when he goes to MotoGP, I'm going to get like a massive.
No, to be fair, he does give me a lot of advice. To be fair,
but that is so. It's that leg up, isn't it? You know, the fact of like someone having Lee in your corner. That is so crucial in this game, and it makes a huge difference, man.
Has Christy got you on a fitness plan as well?
I'll tell you what. I was about to say, the last time I came over here, no, sorry, it wasn't the last time, but one of the times I was over, we were going to Scarborough. Christy said, she says, let's do a bit of a workout. And I was like, nah, it's a bit close. I lifted a 7 kilo dumbbell and put my back clean out.
Like, literally, he was on the floor. I thought he was, because he's always joking around being a plum, and I said, get up, you clown. And he was like, mate. But he couldn't stand, he couldn't do that. Literally, his back just
like, I mean, I felt the pop. And then he thought it'd be a great idea to put me on like a balance board.
And he fell off it.
Fell it straight through the heater. That was me banjaxed for the weekend. So that was great. So
it's a dangerous game.
To be fair,
just down to the gym.
It wasn't up to me to know that he couldn't lift a 7 kilo dumbbell. Do you know what I mean? I just assumed that he had the capabilities for that. But
the minerals.
Spot on. Well, have you got anything else to wrap up?
Do you want to ask for any money or anything when we're on?
No. Any sponsorship?
Other than your YouTube channel, so if people just type in Lee Johnston on YouTube for the things, and then like both your names just on all the social medias. Are you doing any Ash Core clothing this year? Just selling merchandise?
Red Torpedo or yes.
Right.
Mint.
So that will be soon actually. I didn't have on my list. Yeah, I don't know how soon they're going to be selling it. Obviously, our team clothing will be ready in a couple of weeks, but yeah, that'll be soon. They'll advertise that and everything. That's nothing to do with me. I'll share it obviously, but yeah. So keep an eye out for.
And people can keep track of the restoration and hopefully have a chance to win it, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, log on there and get a look, because I would like someone to get the bike that, do you know what I mean, it would mean something to. Do you know that? Yeah. I'm not saying it's going to be, probably don't ride it even because it might not be safe, but get it and put it in your garage.
Look after it.
Yeah. I would like because I've like put a lot of effort into doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like I said to them, I'm getting this new and that new. They're like, we weren't really, maybe expecting that, but I'm like, I want it to be
like a proper job.
Yeah.
I can just imagine Lee watching like Motorway Police after a BSB session. Yeah. I'll just flick the telly on.
Oh, you should.
I recognise that, Reg. Yeah. There's a bike like in half on the M6.
I've never seen someone that's like more excited in all his life. Was it yesterday, the day before?
I got a box.
He got a box. He's pulling out brand new fuel caps. He goes, look at this here. Look at this.
It's so odd that in it, like
brake calipers, and he's looking at.
Is that something you've developed with age, or is it?
It's age, mate. It's age.
Jesus, what?
As you've.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? I feel like I'm aging like so much at the moment.
We gathered that when you were talking about houses.
Yeah, and just there's, do you know sometimes where you just like sort of slap yourself. My granddad has always done this thing where if he's like walking along and he's like in his own little world, and like say if he's concentrating on something, he always goes like that with himself. And I've always thought that's really weird. Like, why does he do that? Anyway, over the last couple of weeks,
I've noticed you doing it, mate.
I've been like concentrating, reversing something, or like doing it, and I find myself going. Stop! I'm getting old. I don't want to get old. But it's just one of them things, isn't it? But yeah, I would love to get stuck in with something like that. I'd never have time at the moment, but at some point I would actually. I think it would be like really satisfying and like going through and taking.
I think the biggest thing is to pick something you can still get stuff for.
Yeah,
that's the hardest part. Do you know what I mean? Like let's say Classic Suzuki have been amazing trying to source me stuff. I sent lists of stuff through of what I wanted to get, and I was thinking, there's no chance. And the guy was like, oh yeah, this is in Germany, this is in Japan. I was like, I couldn't do enough for you. So yeah. Big thanks to them, I suppose, as well, for and Steve Wheaton for sorting it out.
Yeah, class. And well, obviously, best of luck to you both in the short circuits and the road racing.
Yes,
for the team. Have you got Damo? I haven't mentioned Damo. Damo's riding for you, isn't he?
Yeah, in Super Sport. Yeah.
So there's 2-man team in Super Sport. So best of luck to both of you. And thanks very much for taking the time to come on the show. Really appreciate it. Massive thank you to our sponsors, Colchester Kawasaki, and also also to our patrons. Oh, in fact, give us 2 seconds.
We
do Patreon questions, and I'll just double check for any good questions. Do you run a Patreon page?
I have one?
Do you know what Patreon pages are?
It's like where you get like people to give you money for no reason.
It's like monetizing something that's like free content. Give them
but I think
extra.
it's different. I don't really know what I would do. That would just confuse me. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd just end up telling everybody something I was supposed to like keep
on the hook.
It's kind of like an OnlyFans for podcasts and like YouTubers, this type of thing. So
Jordan's in. Look at that. I'm well up for that.
Yeah. So question about changing to Bell, which we've kind of we didn't ask why, but like you've talked about changing it over.
I like the colour of it.
About the any plans to do the Scottish 6-day trial? I've seen you've been doing a bit of trial ride.
No, do you know something? I would like to go up and watch it, but like I know my level, and Whittam's explained what it's like and stuff, and I just think it would just be an absolute sufferfest. So I don't see the point in. It's a little bit disrespectful even to the event, me turning up. I think that is like the best way to describe it, because it's something I've got mates that like try to get in every year, and I think I could probably get an entry. Do you know what I mean? And I would be mugging them off because they're better than me, but I'm literally getting an entry because of my name or going with him or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I've no interest. I would like to go and watch though.
I'm doing a similar thing for the 2-day Manx trial.
Oh yeah.
So
it's a good trial.
I've not done a trials competition in my life. I had to go on his bike.
Yeah.
One day. that's my trials experience. And like Steph Hardman,
yeah, but it's
she's like, oh, if you come over and help out and stuff like that, we'll give you an entry. I'm like,
I had to go on a trials sidecar years and years ago.
That's cheating, man.
What do you mean?
What? Don't put your foot down on your tricycle.
I wasn't driving, riding the thing. I was being woolly.
That's like saying you learned to cycle with stabilizers.
I did. I'm still using them.
Really good question. I don't know anything about this, but Luke said, question for Luke, what is it like training as a bike racer with a Premier League football club? Do any of the players support you when you are busy racing?
I've got some mates that play football.
Oh, do you train with them?
No.
Oh, right. Was that
go out drinking with them.
Is it like a local club?
Yeah, they play for Leeds. It's mate of Paul's as well. Well, the lad from home is, yeah, and then I know a few lads from here as well.
That's what I love about Northern Ireland people in that period. Everything's home back at home. Like, it doesn't matter if you lived here for another 70 years. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
home is home.
Yeah.
It's mint, man.
Yeah, class. Well, massive thank you to our Pete. I'm glad quickly reminded about that. And all the best, and look forward to catching up with you soon, lads. Thanks very much.
Awesome. Cheers, lads.
Sweet. Thank you.
Chasin the Racin, powered by Colchester Kawasaki, part of the Global Moto Group. We supply new Aprilia, Moto Guzzi, Vespa, Royal Enfield, Kawasaki, Sim, Mutt and Benelli motorcycles.